Hello and welcome to my much brighter basement. Over the last week or so I have installed some new lighting. I'm not sure if you can actually tell in the video or not because the video kind of normalizes the lighting, but I used to have just one bulb here and then one bulb down there and a third one way in the distance, but now I have two on this side and I have three on this side, and I've installed them all in the last couple days. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to install one more right here, so I have six total lights, basically doubling the light in my basement, and I'm going to kind of take you through the steps of how I did that. It's not a hard project. You do need a couple different tools and a little bit of patience, but it's not very hard. So let's go ahead and get started here. First things first, if you're not comfortable using electrical wire or running electricity, then don't. Just go ahead and call an electrician. It's not a very difficult job. You can still install the pot lights if you really want to, but then just have the electrician wire them up. But I'm fairly comfortable, and what I have done actually is I've run these lights so there's actually a connection between five of them. They're all in one circuit right now, and I have this one up here ready to go. I'm going to take the electrical from this one and run it over to the spot where I don't have a light yet. And what I've done here is, one, I have electrical into this light. Obviously it's on and it's working. It's open right now because I'm going to run some more wires into it. I actually have a little hole already drilled right here to run the electrical wire through. In this case it was a 3/4 inch drill bit that I ran that hole, and then what I also did was I kind of measured out where I want to put my pot light, and it's going to be right here. I'm going to do mine in the same rafter as the other one, so I'm kind of in line, and it's actually the center of the light is going to be 48 inches off of a point over there, so they're all going to be in line. So all these lights are going to be in line. And in this row over here, all of these lights are in line. Another way to do it is to kind of stagger the lights, kind of like Olympic rings, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I decided to do it this way just because of how the room was set up and what my other plans are for the rest of the basement. So I kind of have the electrical is kind of ready to go. I have to actually install the light, and then we'll kind of go from there. And then I'll run the electrical to the light. So first things first, let's get the light installed. Okay. So this is a can light, or a pot light they're sometimes called, because they're looks like a little pot. This is actually for, there's different versions of these, but this is for putting the lights in when you actually have open access to the structure. There's other lights you can actually put into a ceiling, to a finished ceiling, and the kind of legs kind of expand out and kind of keep it all on straight. This is not one of those. This is a nice solid one. I can put it up there. I don't have a ceiling yet. I'm not even sure if I'm going to use a ceiling in my basement yet. I just like having lights, and we'll kind of go from there. Now, a couple things about these lights. It's hard to kind of see, but there's actually a little screw on both sides. The screw on this side actually, and it kind of adjusts the can part of it up and out. So if I actually do put a ceiling in, I can adjust it down to the ceiling and cut a hole and kind of adjust the can down so it extends beyond. So that the ceiling's right here, it'll extend down and into the hole of the ceiling, so I can kind of fit it just right. I'm just going to keep mine turned up right now. The other thing I have is I have an electrical box on the back or the side. This is what I'm going to actually use to wire in, but I want to make sure this electrical box is actually pointing towards the other light where the power is coming from, and I already have a hole knocked out. I actually grabbed this from another project, so I already have the hole. Usually I go into the top, but I go into the side this time. That's fine, not a big deal. The other two things are the legs. The way this works, you can see it, is you place it up here, and these little legs kind of hold it in. Now, they're expandable, and they can be tightened and they can be loosened, and they should fit right between the rafters. Okay. So again, this is using another project, so the nails are a little out of whack here. But what I can basically do is put this up, banging a nail or two, and kind of keep this in place. Now, I don't like using nails. It's very loud, they're hard to get out, and when I go pounding it, I have dust and everything else fall on my head from the ceiling. So what I'm going to do is something a little bit different. I'm actually going to end up using screws. But what I might do, because I'm here, I'm trying to position it. So again, I lined it up so that here's my 48-inch mark. It's 48 inches off the wall. That's where it is. That should be the center of the light, and sure enough, it's right there. I'm in line with the rafters, so this all looks pretty good. What I might do is bend one of these two out here, what I might do is just pound it into place. Okay, that's actually a little low. See, gotta pop it out. I want the edge there. Good. Now, I'm going to get that as perpendicular as I can. That looks pretty good there. Let me do this side though. Keep it nice and straight. Okay, and then, all right. Let me get one more there. There. It's held up. Now I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to use a drill gun, and I'm going to go ahead and put screws in. I'll do it right here. I'm using small, little, probably 1-inch screws, 1.5 at the most. I believe these are actually sheetrock screws, but they work pretty well because they're made to drill into wood, and they will definitely hold up the weight of a pot light. There we go. But if I ever want to take this out, I want to reposition it, if I ever go ahead and replace these lights with something else, it's really easy to just go ahead and unscrew or take these screws out, as opposed to going up there with a hammer and taking them out, kind of pulling them or yanking them out manually. All right, let's tell you what, while we're here, we'll get this one. Push it up, push it into place. Good enough. Nice and solid. I can still slide it back and forth if I need to. I'm going to keep it right in the middle, and then once you get it where it is, there's a little screw adjustment that I can just turn. I'll probably use a screwdriver for that. But I can turn it, I can kind of tighten it, and then it won't go back and forth. That's all there is to it. Now, we have to run the electric. Again, it's still a little bit of a weird angle. You're still looking up. But here's the pot light I just installed, and here's the existing one. I'm going to run the power from this one over through this hole into this one. So what I have to do is I have to know how much wire to cut. I have a whole great big spool of it right now. So what I'm going to do, in this case, just take my tape measure and go over here, and we're about, I don't know, about 55, 56 inches from center to center. Remember, I'm using the electrical box as the middle. And what I typically do is I go ahead and I usually add about another foot, just because I can make a mistake. I need to cut down a little bit. If I have any extra, I can kind of curl and staple in place, just so I have it for expansion later on. You don't want to go too far. You don't want to have 30 feet of wire or cord sitting up there, but a couple inches here and there won't matter. So I'm going to go ahead and go about 65 inches or so of wire, and I'll come back and we'll wire it up. So here we are on my basement floor. I don't have any kind of sophisticated way to measure the wire and cut it just right. What I literally do is I take a tape measure, lay it down on the ground, extend the wire out to what I need. This is, by the way, this is a 12 gauge. It's a little more than it really should be, a little stronger than it really needs to be for this particular case for LED bulbs, but it's what I had. So it's expensive, but it's what I have, and that's what I'm going to use everything with, just to be on the safe side. So anyway, I had put the tape measure down, extended it out, and here we are at about 65 inches. Again, another 10, 12 inches more than I need to be. I'm going to take my little crappy wire cutters and I just go across them. Here we go, about 65. And I just cut across. This is only 3 strand. That's all I need in this case. Here we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up stripping this down and exposing the black, the white, and the ground wire, which is already got exposed. I'll show you real quickly how I do that as well. Okay, so here's one of the ends of the wire I just cut. What I do is this outside sheathing is actually kind of hard to strip very easily. There are strippers that do a little better job at this, but I'm just going to use a little X-Acto knife. I'm going to cut away from me, I don't know, 3 inches down or so. Just real quick down, and then I kind of pull it down like that. And sure enough, I have black ground in the middle there, and I have neutral. And then I just cut across it, cut the tail off, the paper off, and there we go, about ready to go. And then these strippers will work fine for this. You can actually use this and kind of cut a circle around it and then pull it off. I'm not that brave. I'm just going to go ahead and use this. I've come close to chopping my finger off. Again, I give it a good inch or so. These pot lights have a little auto plug sort of thing I just plug it into. So that's nice. I'll just use that. A little automatic attachment. That should be enough. You don't squeeze all the way. You just squeeze enough to kind of, the little blades there kind of cut the plastic sheathing, the insulation off, and then you pull, and you just kind of pull the wire off, shoots it off, and there we go. Ready to go. And then I do the same thing on the other end. Okay, so again, here's my wires. Here's my installed pot light. Here are my 3 wires to the light. I have a green for ground. I have a black for power or hot, and I have a white for neutral. Here's the way this is going to work. I'm going to take my cable that I just cut and spliced, and in this case I'm going to run it through the hole on the side. I just put that in. This is a little thing that's opened up. And what you do is you want to run it through that, because this plate's going to close up, so you'd have the power in there somehow. So I'm going to kind of run it through, and out of habit, I usually hook them up in specific order. Here's those little auto clips, and all you do is you kind of just push them on. There's a little spring in there, and you kind of just push it on, and they're only for solid cables. Won't work on stranded, which is good, because you don't want to run stranded through this stuff for a light fixture. So I always put the ground one first, and then I put the neutral. Again, just kind of put it and squeeze it on. And last but not least, I go ahead and I put the black, the power, the hot. Okay, and that's nice and secure. You can yank these off, but they actually stay pretty secure. They're pretty tight. But there they are. So what we're going to do is we're going to end up putting those in here like that. Now I should electrical tape them. For the moment, I'm going to leave this open, but if I were actually ready to go, I would put electrical tape around it, be on the safe side, actually per the manufacturer's instructions. And then I just close this little box up, and we're good. But for the moment, I'm going to keep this open so I can test and kind of just make sure everything works. I always test every single one of my connections and hookups with electrical, because the last thing you want to do is hook up 6 of these things, go to test it, find something's not working, and then you got to sit and troubleshoot all 6. So I do one at a time and test each one as needed. Okay, so I have my pot light with the connection over here, a new one, and then I have my actual cord. I'm going to run this from the pot light I just installed through that hole. I'm going to run it through here. So then I'm going to, okay, good, and it reaches, so that's good, but then I'm done. I'm going to pause for a second, because if I try to take this and hook it up to this light with this power still going, that could be dangerous. I could accidentally hit the wires, I could actually hit myself, and I can give myself quite a shock. So what I'm going to do in a moment here is I'm going to turn off the power to this particular pot light and this whole circuit. And if you're ever unsure of whether you have power or not, you can use this little thing called a voltage detector. So the way it works is a little pen light, just turn it on, so it's on right now. So I'm going to hold this up to the wire, the cable is not hooked up yet. Nothing happens. Okay? However, when I bring it anywhere near a cable that has power going through it, oh, warning. That means that I have high voltage, or at least high enough voltage that it could probably hurt me. When I get that, I say, uh-oh, I gotta stop. I carry this with me everywhere. I test every single circuit. Whenever I come close to seeing something, if something works or not, I always go ahead and I make sure to test for voltage. Okay, so I'm ready again, second time. Let's see if I have voltage. Nope, no high voltage, I'm good. No voltage, no voltage, I'm safe to hook up another electrical cord. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing I just did over there. All I do is I take my cord, in this case it goes to the top, not the bottom. And I will stand up for this. I will run it through, pushed in, all of them are pushed in, everything's connected, nothing's touching. Okay, again, When I'm done with this, once I've tested it, I'll do a couple things. I will put tape around all of these, put them all back in the box, close the box up. And something I haven't mentioned yet, these cords are just kind of floating around. That's never going to fly. I will actually have to tack up these cords. I'm not going to do that today, but you actually want to get tacks and put them in. They're like staples. You don't want to put them in so tight that they crush the insulation, but you do want to tack these things into place. That's a whole other job. I usually wait until the end to do that because I typically will have to jostle things around a little bit. But at the very end, you do want to tack everything in about every 8 to 10 inches. You want to have another tack to keep these cords secure so that if something were to fall or knock or get knocked out of place. In fact, even in this case, this pot has moved over a little bit. I need to move it, center it a little bit. So I need to have a bit of play before I go tacking the wires in. So we've now hooked up the cable to this side, the wires to that side. Let's go ahead and test our brand new pot light. Okay, here's our brand new pot light. Again, not hooked up yet. Let's see if we actually have voltage going to it. Oh, looks like pretty good. We do have voltage going into it. There we go. Okay, let's give it a shot with the bulb. And there we go, a working pot light. I now have 6 lights in my basement, and wow, is it bright. I have 3 on one side, 3 on the other. I'll go ahead and I'll even them all out, tape up all the electric, and then probably go ahead and staple in the electrical cords at some point, probably not today. By the way, here is what it looks like. Here's an electrical cord that has been stapled in. There's one there, goes through a hole for another staple. They just staple them in. Again, every 6, 10, 12. You just want them to be secure. So there we go. Wasn't too bad. It only took me about 20 minutes to put a pot light in, start to finish. So you figured 6 of them, maybe an hour, hour and a half if you're just kind of working together or taking your time with it. But it's really not a bad project, and it's kind of fun, but it really makes the whole basement much more brighter, which makes it much more easier to work down here, to clean out all the junk, and to go ahead and keep finishing off this basement. So there you go, how to install a pot light pretty much from start to finish. If you like this video, please go ahead and like it. Please go ahead and subscribe, hit the little bell icon. I'm not entirely sure what that does, but I'm told it does something really cool. So go ahead and do that, and I think you'll hear about all the other videos I'll have out there. Feel free to go ahead and leave comments. Tell me what I did wrong. I know that you guys all have a very strong opinion about home improvement, and I know that everything I do is dead wrong, so I'm looking forward to those.